what were your parents' lives like? What was like, are either of your parents still alive?
No.
Okay. Are they buried in the same place?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, we had my mother, when we moved out, I couldn't move to Kauai without taking my mom with me.
Oh, so you took your mom with you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And she lived in the house with us too.
Did she love it there?
My dad used to wrestle in Japan a lot, and so we would meet him in Hawaii. And I didn't realize it, but Hawaii reminded her of her sons. And she didn't want to go anywhere. She wanted to stay in her room, and she wanted to grow her flowers. And that was it. She did love it. She loves her flowers, but it was like, it reminded her too much of that. But she passed away up in our guest room upstairs. But all my granddaughters and my son's wives were standing around her singing hymns while she passed away. And Theo, before she died, she was a super good woman. She was so sweet and thoughtful to everyone. When she'd come to school, I'll be so proud of her, because all the kids would like her. But when she was laying in that bed and she breathed her last breath, even as she, like that, her hand went up like that. And I could just picture touching Jesus' hand and going to heaven,
She was probably ready to go see her sons, huh?
Oh, I know she was. My dad. I hate to tell you all this personal stuff, buddy, but...
I could match you if you need, but we've heard my stories a lot. No, I just can't imagine. I bet she was ready to go see her sons,
He was.
I bet she'd been gone away from them long enough.
And my dad, too. Because really, when you think about it, my dad lost more than my mom. My dad lost his sons, but he didn't ever show it. I mean, but he hurt. He was hurting, but he was like, it was just that at his final days, he was so torn up inside. I think when he saw me, it would remind him of all the sons he'd lost. And he pulled that 44 out one day, and he pointed his head like, I'm just going to shoot myself. Dad, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Dad. And he pointed the gun at me, and he said, you're afraid to die, aren't you, son? He said, you'd have the guts. You'd do it too if you had the guts. And I said, Dad, it doesn't take guts to live. I mean, it takes guts to kill yourself, Dad. It takes guts to stay alive on this earth. And he was hurting so much. He would just go, oh, God. He'd rub his face to go, oh, God. And when I'd hear that, I actually wanted him to die. I wanted him to pass away. He was just miserable. And I know that when he died, he was right there with Dave, Kerry, Mike. It was beautiful. But my dad had he said, look, son, if you kick an old dog enough times, he's going to bite you. And that's how I am with God right now. He's kicked me too many times. And so I said, Dad, you're going to be so surprised, but I couldn't convince him of it,
Yeah. Was it an option to take some of the slots off the schedule, or did you guys feel like as a family, we have to fill this? Did you feel like your dad was like, we have to fill this, or it was just, that's what you did?
Well, I got to tell you, after the deaths, we were down, and we sure didn't feel like getting back in that ring. But, you have to, because after death, there's all the publicity, and Dad's saying, yeah, it's been a week, it's been 2 weeks or whatever. But I mean, there were times when we said, Dad, I can't do it yet. Can't do it. But he did want us to get in that ring. But it was a family business. I don't hold it against him. I understand. But it was brutal to make yourself do that. I mean, what's on your mind is love and brotherhood and seeing him again in heaven. But you want to project, I'm going to kick that guy's ass. Yeah. It's kind of, you're torn, So,
a lot of life's like that, huh?
Yeah.
It's like having two feelings at the same time. It's like, especially with death, because it's like somebody's gone, but they're the one that's gone, but you're the one that hurts, and you don't even know what they're feeling like, and you almost don't want to like mourn too much, because then it's like, are you just using the mourning for yourself? Just like all that kind of stuff has always hit me.
I know. You wake up in the morning and there's nothing else. You can't think about anything else. Man, I'm old enough. I can tell you a little something now. I never wanted to endorse marijuana or put it over because, I had a position, but when I would wake up in the morning, I could not think of anything else. That's all I thought about. And if I smoked a joint, I could daydream. I could think of something else, and I was grateful for that stuff. It helped me.
I can't imagine what it's like to be kind of the surviving son. Did you feel chosen or did you feel deserted? Does that question make any sense to you?
Sure. It's funny you say that. Yeah, because I felt chosen in the way that my dad gave me a tape recorder back when I was in 5th grade. It was Bell and Howell, and you could talk into it, and I couldn't believe I could hear my voice.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I love my dad so much. I filled the tape. It was, okay, one day Dad's going to die, and I'm going to talk, and here I am alive while he's still alive, and so I'm going to say something to make me feel better. I said, man, I'm sorry, Kev. Sorry, buddy. I just filled the tape up with that.
Oh, as if you were impersonating your dad?
Yeah, like I can comfort myself later when I don't work.
No, dude, that's really interesting, though.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
But I remember saying, Dave and Carrie, we loved each other so much. I thought, I can't bear to lose them. I could not bear it. And I thought, but they loved me that way. And so I said this, even in a prayer, I said, God, if one of us has to stand back, if one of us has to be the only one, let it be me.
Wow.
Because I'm hard and I'm strong inside. Lord, God made me that way. But I didn't know it would ever happen, but I did say it,
I used to have, this is like silly, but so when I was growing up, I didn't have any, whenever my dad died, I didn't have anything of his, right? I didn't have like a shirt or like a button or just anything to remember him by, And so I used to write postcards to my kids, right? Whenever I was on the road, just traveling over the years doing comedy, I would write postcards to my kids. I don't have any kids yet, but I would send them postcards just so in the future they would be able to see that I was thinking of them, right?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to prove,
That's so smart, bro.
But I just think it's the same type of thing. It's like you're just trying to I don't know, you're always thinking of how do I make sure that that somebody knew I cared or that somebody knew somebody else cared.
I'm going to die someday.
Yes.
I'm going to die someday.
It's just stuff like that is interesting. I think a lot of people do little things like that. But that's interesting because you could have felt like you were deserted.
Yeah.
But to end up feeling that you were chosen, that's pretty powerful.
Well, I don't think I'd say the word chosen, more like I'd say that I would not want to put them through that. Yeah.
Like you were the one that could handle it.
And then I think I would not want them to go through it. Yeah. I would rather me go through it than they did. And I think
that's sweet of
God might have gave me some credit for that, because it's all about we're in a struggle, it's like we're not on this earth to laugh it up and have fun. We have real tests, and life is hard. And that kind of stuff that kicks you in the nuts is what makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Makes you more strong. And without that, you can't give advice to people about things you haven't been around, but once you've had it and suffered yourself, now you can say, listen up.
Well, with that said, and I agree, I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like, I've always had this outlook, and they kind of don't teach you that when you're a kid as much, and they really shouldn't when you're a young child. But I think they should teach you at some point that life is a test, that it is full of a lot of tests. And it's not all just going to be like this perfect thing, or everything might not work out the way you think it. You never really kind of get that education, maybe, or maybe some parents do give it to their kids. But with what you said a second ago, if you had to share something with somebody who had lost a sibling or who had dealt with, some grief from loss, something that you've learned, because, you're like almost the Neil Armstrong of loss. You've endured a lot in your life, and watched other loved ones endure a lot, What have you kind of learned that you feel like you could share, if anything?
Well, thank you for giving that opportunity, because that's what I want to do, is to try to make it positive for somebody, buddy. But, it's tough, because I want to tell people, when somebody dies, it's going to get better, but it doesn't get better, man. You don't even get used to it. It's just keep tolerating it, and you just somehow it gets a little better someday. But there's no good word to say to them. But when somebody's really busted up, you know, and when you overcome that and are able to maintain through that, well, then it's now you've achieved through a struggle. You've achieved over an obstruction. You've gone over a hurdle, you know, and it's like now you can say you won. Now you can say you won something, because without a fight, there can't be a winner. There can't be a champion. There can't be a success unless there's that adversity, you know. And so God wouldn't put you through that unless you're going to benefit. And Theo, you got a great mind. You're an intelligent guy, I can tell. And
thanks, man.
Life he's knocking on your door too, my friend.
You too. I feel like you and me are probably pretty similar in some ways. You feel that?
Sure do.
I do too. Do you, how therapeutic was having your own family for you?
Everything, man. That was what did it, is what saved me, because, man, when you can have anything you want, you know, and your brothers can have anything they want, and they come over and let's go do this, let's go do that. It's like, what a life. I mean, it's a whole lot. But for anybody that's wondering, Kevin Von Erich, I consider myself the luckiest guy in the world. I mean, I know for that movie coming out, you may not believe it, but I am happy all day, every day. And I mean, I look forward to tomorrow. And I couldn't ask for a better way things turned out. And to bitch about my brothers dying too young, the truth is we had a great time. We had a great time a long time.
Hell yeah, we're still talking about how good the time was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, dude?
So I can't call it a bad day.